Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you, wherever you are joining us this moment. It is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me, and it is really good to be back. I took a break this afternoon, and it's really good to be back, and I'm so loaded tonight. The first thing you have to do after reading the caption, reading the description of the broadcast, try like it, hear it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, invite the Buharidins, the Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungos Diaris, the Unekaharis, the sophisticated morons, the voluntary slaves, the humbled slaves. Do not forget the entire clan of the Sai barbarians. Tell all of them that. Also, don't forget the virus that has now transfused also to Agbadorians, the Batidion, the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers. They are beginning to ask for Southern unity. Southern unity, kill them there. The bigots are on the run. Their paymasters are denying them. In fact, there is a gnashing of teeth, wailing of tears in the camp of the Agbadorians, the Batidiot. Tag them. Tell them that Mayegun today. Thank you, Motide. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is prime time with Mayegun, and this is live. Yeah, for those who are watching it live. Today is day 6, the 6th day of the days of rage. 10 days given to Tifnumbu. The 6th day of the day of days of rage to end. Bad governance in Nigeria. But there are so many things that are also unraveling. And, you know, including the loss of fortune to the Batidiots, the voluntary slaves. And why is that? Remember, when they were all over the place, 8 solid years of Boko Haram's failure were not as defended by the Batidiots of Yoruba. I'm talking about the Ronukus. You can tag them too. The Ronukus, the Yoruba Ponus, the APC, Ronunazis in Yoruba land. They were everywhere. They said all they needed was just an alliance with the Fulani Arewa North. And Fulani Arewa North was their pathway to presidency of Nigeria. So it wasn't about what Boko Haram could do. It was mostly about which tribe is trying to subjugate the other tribe, which ethnic nationality should be afraid of, and all of that. So they brought the, what you call the tribal division, the ethnic division, the religious jingoism. So these Lagos Agberos, Omo Alile Yorubas, these Yoruba bastards, right? So they camped behind a drug dealer, treasury looter, certificate forger, simply because he could buy just anyone, including those who actually wanted to be bought. They called themselves progressives. They preached the politics of hate, the politics of division. It was so strong that they were calling their fellow Yorubas Omuale for not agreeing with this Akotileta and Ronukus. They were calling their fellow Yorubas Omuale for Bokuwari. Why Bokuwari and his Fulani terrorist were terrorizing the entire Yoruba land? These Omuale did this with Tifnumbu. They defended him. In fact, those who stood up, spoke out against this, were either jailed, killed, or exiled. All of this just because they wanted to wait for 2023 and Tifnumbu can become president and they would have their own share. Unfortunately, the miserable sewage dweller, the bat idiots, the Agbadorians, they don't even get to see the crumb to eat right now. It is that bad. But let us roll it back, ladies and gentlemen. End bad governance in Nigeria. When those who claimed to be progressives and progressives, took over the reign of government in Nigeria, Nigeria became poorer. Nigerians became poorer. Nigeria became more indebted. Nigeria became more divided. Nigeria institutionalized hatred, tribalism, ethnic chauvinism. There's another one. Oh, it's called impunity. Impunity where federal character. Okay, hang on. It's like I'm giving too much now, right? Okay, let's break it down again. Nigeria is a fraudulent place where they put something in place called the federal character. Those who put that in place were just to say, okay, everybody will have equal opportunity, equal shot at the leadership of Nigeria. But when APC came, in fact, Bokuwari actually made everybody understood where they belong. It was Bokuwari's 8 years that cleared so many people's eyes about the lie called Nigeria, about the fraud called one Nigeria, that majority of us, in fact, what do I mean by majority? Okay, maybe majority. I'll say majority because there are those who knew all along that Nigeria was a lie. But guess what? Majority of us have been living this lie until Bokuwari came. When Bokuwari came, we started knowing where everybody belonged. And you know something? The Abobakus, the ass lickers, the crumb eaters, the all risers, the crumb chasers, bad idiots, the bad stars. They said they didn't mind if the Fulanis are killing us. As long as the Igbo can never become the president of Nigeria, they don't care. Like these guys were comfortable that terrorism in Yoruba land became a thing, that Yorubas were paying ransom to Fulani terrorists that came from Futajalon, Futasoro. Now our people became poorer because Nigeria is more divided. That kind of be like a leverage for APC. Yeah, if anything will unite all of you, it is going to be if you are comfortable. Okay, since you will never listen to yourselves, since you will be willing to even kill yourselves, APC cemented that. They turned criticism of Bokuwari, they turned it into hatred for Fulani, hatred for northern Nigeria. Guess what? This type of rhetorics, right? They were not being pushed by Fulani people. They were not being pushed by northerners. They were being pushed by the sewage dwellers of Lagos, of Yoruba land. The Omerus, Omoale, the bastard of Yoruba land. They were the ones who were pushing the narrative. Just who say you hate Fulani, just say it. And before you know it, Arewa started saying criticism of Bokuwari is an hatred against the North. Oh, if you rise up and say you want to protest against Bokuwari, that means you are rising against the North. All of these were the schemes put in place by Tifnumbu and his gang. It is payback time. Unfortunately for them, they didn't know that hunger will unite Nigerians to some extent. Hunger. No, hunger, we've weaponized hunger. We have weaponized poverty. How can that unite people who can barely feed themselves? Where would they get the strength to even think and unite to face us? And that is their own Achilles heel. The missing link. Something they believe will never happen. But when it was time for Bokuwari to now replicate what the Abobakus were defending for 8 years, even though they were being impoverished, terrorized under Bokuwari, they said they were okay because they believed that Tifnumbu will come and compensate them. Bokuwari was like willing the entire Nigeria to his people and his other cronies, right? They were like, okay, we'll wait for our turn. When it's our turn, we'll do our own. Let him destroy Nigeria. They kept defending APC. They kept defending APC. They kept attacking everybody that says this or that. These guys attacked Amotekun because Tifnumbu was against Amotekun in defending Yoruba land against the Fulani terrorists. Because Tifnumbu was against it. These guys were against it. The people that are now kind of saying they are Yoruba this, Yoruba that. Suddenly from nowhere, because of election again, and mind you, all the hatred towards the Igbos under Bokuwari, they were championed by this Yoruba Ronukus, Tifnumbu people. In fact, you see this tribal bigotry that you are now seeing the northern Nigeria dwelling in. They were taught by this Lagos Abobakus. Yeah, they were taught by the Abobakus. All of this, so they were investing in APC, hoping that at least they have the northern partners. They will deliver Tinubu. Even if the Igbos are not going to support them, if the South are not going to really support him, the North will deliver. That was how stupid these Abobakus were. Tifnumbu won just 4 states. I've been at 4 or 5 states. How many states did he win in southern Nigeria? Just 4 states. Out of 17 states, he won 4. Well, Yakubu wrote 4 for him. Then in northern Nigeria, where they inflated the figure, rigged it, Ranka did the thing, made these people to look away because they actually didn't even vote for APC. That's the worst scenario. You see all these things that you are facing today. Now, Yakubu of INEC wrote all that figure. In northern Nigeria, the places where they allocated figures to APC, they were not elected. But guess what? They just felt like, well, let's just let go, Jari. Maybe they told them, maybe it's the will of Allah. In fact, Muslim, Tuni. No, don't worry yourself. One Muslim is good, 2 Muslim is better. That's the preaching. That was the preaching. So which simply means they were also robbed in northern Nigeria. But their elite and their gang who put the whole scheme together, they were able to tame them. Hoping that Tifnumbu will compensate them with this, that, whatever. So that didn't happen. Now, majority of them who have run away from northern Nigeria, but they are still so very strong member of decision makers in Abuja. Many of them have never been to their state or their community in years, but they are still there in Abuja as senators, as reps. So Tifnubu needed them to talk to these people and say, as usual, this is APC, this is Muslim. Don't let the infidel deceive you. This hunger, now the punishment from Allah. We'll keep praying. All that nonsense, Sha. Go and give them rice. Go and give them money. Unfortunately, even the money and the rice is sent to them, right? Barely 10% of it got to them. But what they didn't tell themselves then was that, or maybe they never even get to know, was that the level of hunger in Nigeria, especially in northern Nigeria, people are already eating grass. They are already cutting leaves. You know, this kind of, weed that grows in front of your house or around your house, and then you have to like cut them off and clean them out. People are cutting them to eat in northern Nigeria now. It is so deep that Tifnubu probably think most of these protesters from northern Nigeria are protesting because they don't want him again. No. They are tired of the entire system. So here is where the betrayal comes from. Majority are now asking, how can they now? Why did they not protest under Bokuwari? Listen to this. In fact, there was actually a saved message. I'm sorry I didn't put it on the screen, but I was going to sort of talk about it, right? Listen to this. One of them was like, hey, what stopped you APC guys in the north from pushing back these PDP boys? One Lagos Abobaku was asking a northerner that, how come you APC guys, why are you not pushing these people? But they are PDP now, those who are protesting. Remember that Tifnubu and gang said this whole protest is not sponsored by economic hardship. It's actually sponsored by politicians, Abi. So Abobakus were wondering, how come the APC in northern Nigeria are looking away? How come they cannot kind of counter all of these things and stop all these protests? They said, look back to 8 years. Look back to Bokuwari's 8 years, where the Southwest APC boys, where they were in the forefront, pushing back all the negative narrative against him, even especially from Southeast. You see, the obsessed there weary. They can't do anything without mentioning Southeast or Igbos, right? They said they were pushing back all the negative narratives against Bokuwari from the South and Southeast. Come on, please tell yourself the truth. Now, Abobaku, they cry like that. Guess what one Fulani responded him with? Another, he said, Buhari and Tinubu are not same place. People clearly believe so much in Buhari. Tinubu does not have that goodwill. Whatever the Southwest did for Buhari is out of personal conviction or political permutations. You can't expect that from the North. Not now, when we are hungry. Here is another one. This is it. The hypocrisy is loud and clear. I will advise you shut it and move on. In 2014, we knew how we convinced our kids and kin to support and believe in Buhari. We repeated same in 2019, even when his failure was louder than a boom speaker. Hypocrisy exists in the North. One Abobaku crying. A northerner responded. So they should be as stupid as you are, because you choose to be stupid. You knew he was a failure, but you convinced your people to vote for him simply because you wanted a Yoruba to be president next with a question mark. This is the kind of persons we should be sharing common interests with. Is this the kind of persons we should be sharing common interests with as a nation? A Fulani man is asking Ronuku. Because in the North, they are politically conscious than these Agberos, this never shop, all these hungry twats. An average northerner may be poor, But politically, he is more conscious than that illiterate that is carrying a dictionary about. So you convinced your people you knew Bokwari was a failure. You knew Bokwari was destroying Nigeria. You knew it was a total failure, but you convinced your people to vote for him in 2014, 15. You repeated the same thing again in 2019 because you are waiting for a Yoruba man to take over. You knew it was a failure. Now you are expecting them to do the same thing now. They are now looking for Southern unity. I beg, who among you would like to unite with any Ronuku? Ronukus that want Igbos must leave Yoruba land. Abi, how many of you are ready to come and become friends to the Ronukus? Any of you? Raise up your hand. Even their leaders are denying them now. No, we didn't. No, I didn't see that. I didn't know that we are bigotry. We are going to arrest that one that said Igbo must go. DSS is looking for him now. Yeah, Ronukus on the run. Now they are now asking all the Southerners to come together because Tifnubu is a Southerner. Hey, this is what they do all the time. They did it to, hang on, no, they are already pushing it. They said, they did it to Obasanjo. They did it to Jonathan. Ogu kill you there. You know what? Tifnumbu raised a campaign against Obasanjo, a Yoruba man. That Ronuku till tomorrow will tell you, Obasanjo's father is not a Yoruba man. Meanwhile, we know where they bury Obasanjo papa. We know where they bury Obasanjo mama. Nobody know Tifnumbu papa. Nobody know him mama. Nobody know them. Sure you get. The Omo Alede days, they gather together and gang up against Obasanjo till tomorrow. The same Tifnumbu and ganged up against Jonathan. Abeti Bagbe. Now they are saying, now so all these northern people they do. Every time a southerner is in charge, they will group together and try to take the power and make the country ungovernable. Go kill you there 2,000 times. If you've missed some for the first time, or you missed some for the 1,999th time. 2,000 times go buy down olori buruku ẹ̀dá. Eba Yoruba lórúkọ jẹ́, eba Yoruba lójú jẹ́. One person una allow and desecrate the tradition of Yoruba land. And olori buruku ọmọ àlè yìí. Cutting my video, I'd go and make a post about it. I say olori buruku yín. Wo igi àtàdá ló máa fi lé Tinubu kúrò l'Abuja tó bá dojú ẹ̀ tán. You no go pack any bag when you go run away from the Abuja. See democracy and practice. Is this democracy then practice in Luyen? Is that democracy? It's our turn. It's our turn. Ogu kill you and your turn. Oh yeah, my God, turn you now. So they said that they should have stopped the protest in the north, but in northern Nigeria they have betrayed Tifnumbu, who stood by them for 8 years. Now, southern Nigeria, you must all come together and defend your own. Because now so the north, they do all the time. So is this what you bargained for? Anyway, I'll leave it at that before I continue because I've got loads of stuff to show to you today. So I want to take you to their reaction and their preparation. Today is day 6, remember? And today, it was fire. When I say fire, it's fire. And yesterday was pretty much like fire. Today, not like bomba. And there are some gains, there are some losses. Unfortunately, they were able to intimidate the protesters from gathering, as usual, at their spot in Abuja. So therefore, the organizers are currently re-strategizing. And they will hit Abuja like never before. So wait for it. The same thing in Lagos. They sent thugs to go after protesters, including beating up a journalist on camera, live TV broadcast. Mbu said thugs, they were beating up journalists in Lagos. We have that. But there are some other gains too, where the protesters visited houses of people like their rep, their senator, the government house in Yobe, a senator house in Yobe, a rep house in Jigawa, APC secretariat in Daura, APC secretariat in Zaria, APC secretariat in Jigawa, just visiting them for some, you know what I mean? And they believe that this is no longer a protest, it's already turned into revolution. So therefore, the military came out and said, as if to say it's new, right? They came out to threaten the Nigerians again. I'm going to play that. We're going to start from that, okay? I'm going to take it to their cost.